working now. Okay, so the future of XR will likely consist of a number of form factors, platforms, and technologies. It's going to be such a huge market. If you saw the market forecast before with the exponential growth as projected, we have a huge opportunity for this to become maybe the most ubiquitous technology that's around. So headworm form factors in the longer term of XR will likely include a multiplicity of sensors, cameras, imagers, haptics, everything working together with a controlled AI system in order to be able to allow the user to have some automation in how things are prioritized. This includes both, I think as I mentioned before, the conscious part where things come to you that you really want to see, communications come in and communications go out, storage of information. All of that happens to some extent under control, but you also have the effective subconscious part of XR where you have pupil tracking, foveated imaging, many other aspects that you wouldn't necessarily know were going on in the background, but make the whole process easier, cuts the cost, reduces the potential bandwidth requirements and the like. So these are all things that will create virtually a superhuman kind of ability in the headsets. So it's going to be really exciting to see this start to evolve. Huge amount of work. SID has a number of technical sessions dealing with AI, dealing with multiplexing many sensors, high bandwidth, and many of the technologies that come together, foveation. Okay, so I can go on and on. You can look at the technical program and see all the different areas. But while these are things we can do in part today, they're not omnipresent. You still have to retrieve and activate some other device. So in the future, if that's already on your head or some other part of the body, it'll all be automatic. You never miss a scene. If you're seeing it, you can record it, you can use it, you can do whatever you need. The panel that we have here consists of 3 innovative companies with different component product approaches, all of which will play an important role in the successful future of XR. So with that, let's get the panelists up here. So let's let the panelists self-introduce.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
You need this for anything? Yeah.
Sure. Do you want to start off on the first slide? Okay, that one's good enough. Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Just this one and the next slide. I'll cue you at some point.
I can go back.
So anyway, good morning, everybody. My name is Bruce Elliott, and I am with SIDTech. SIDTech is a China-based manufacturer of micro OLED displays. So SIDTech manufactures the whole display, starting with the wafer IC design, doing the OLED processing, and doing the final modularization. So we are the one-stop shop to give a very high-end device to a very exciting and growing market. So my background is I've been in the display industry for 30 years, roughly. So I see many familiar faces out there, not all of them. So I was a design engineer by degree and worked a lot with TFTs. And I was part of the era where smartphone screens evolved and got bigger and bigger. And I transitioned during my time at Samsung to active matrix OLED. So interesting career, and then I've ended up here with micro OLED for the last year. So SIDTech is a very exciting company, very high-tech company, and it is one of the few display companies out there that is making massive investments right now in the technology. So SIDTech is within 30 to 60 days away from launching a 12-inch wafer fab. So one of the top echelon capabilities in the world to have that technology and that capability. So we're going to really distinguish ourselves from the plethora of 8-inch fab companies that are out there. SIDTech has been manufacturing products, micro OLED, on an 8-inch fab since 2020. So quite a bit of experience in the global marketplace. And the attention and the draw and the requests that we've had this week have been incredible. There is a lot of room and a lot of space for SIDTech to come on with our massive capacity, which is going to not just allow companies to expand their products with micro OLED, but it should open up a new paradigm in pricing as well once we have this capacity come online. So I think my first 2 minutes is up with that, so I will pass it down the line.
All right, thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Jonas, I'm CEO and co-founder of VitraLab. And at VitraLab we build laser LCOS light engines for AR. And we do this because there's a necessity, yeah exactly, this one slide further maybe. Because we think there's a big necessity to make a high brightness light engine, which is currently missing from the market. Because there's no AR headset that without a lot of shading you can go outside and you can actually see content. And if you want to have all these use cases that have been described before,
All he needs is to
like
cover
AI,
the first.
AI glasses, then you're gonna need to be outside. Most of the use cases are outside. So we are a small startup. We're based in Vienna, Austria. We're around 5 years old, 12 people, so a bit different scale. And we've been pushing this development now since 2 years to go into the AR sector. We have at our booth 2 R&D prototypes that show the basic functionality of this approach. And yeah, I'm happy to discuss.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason, coming from Saflux. My background is semiconductor physics. I studied with MOCVD growth for the gallium nitride-based LEDs. Our company, Saflux, is a startup company with about 7 years. We are spin off from Yale University. Now we are focused on the micro LED. We provide quantum dots-based micro LED solutions. So utilize this MPQD technology, basically the little pulse plus the quantum dots technology to achieve a very high conversion efficiency from the blue light to red and green. So with this technology, we are addressing some key technology barriers, such as the low efficiency of red LED with small size and the full color micro LED displays. So our current product, including the micro LED used for public information display, such as a big advanced display, as well as the micro LED display used in XR applications. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.
So, thank you very much. So, for our first question, what are some key applications that you believe to be the likely drivers of XR technology in the near term? And how do you see your technology helping and create future products that will succeed in those markets? We should get your slides up now.
No, that's right. Go one more slide. That's the only one you need. Backward. So, touchy.
All right.
So talking about the present and the future. So we like to say that the present is starting today. I'm showing a variety of different products that exist, maybe some which will be existing in the future. I'm not saying there's SIDTech products inside of there, but what I am saying is that the Apple Vision Pro launch really validated micro OLED technology. There's no secret now that it is a micro OLED inside of there. It's a very high resolution micro OLED. And by a company like Apple doing a product launch like that, it helps the industry immensely. And of course, it drives huge demand as further generations and iterations from existing companies come out. So our vision is that there's going to be evolutions of these products from major OEMs all the way down the line and different products. So, there's products on the marketplace today from other companies that have partnerships with Ray-Ban. There's cameras in there, other sensors, but there's no display. Wouldn't that be great if there was a display in there? And it probably will be someday. So, we want to get to that final goal where we have the micro OLED technology evolve for any of the XR technologies. And XR, again, it's AR, VR, MR, whatever you want to assign with it. We want to get to that point. There's other technologies out there, of course, besides micro OLED. You know, micro LED has been talked a lot about this week. That is still a little bit off in the future, but we're watching that closely. And in the meantime, we're going to keep evolving micro OLED technology to get brighter, to get more robust, better lifetimes, better performance. And it's going to happen. And we have a lot of partners out there, and a lot of heavy horsepower companies are working on evolving that technology to get to a product like on the bottom right side of the screen with very high performance. So as the technology evolves into the future, SIDTech again will be there based on our capacity. I invite everyone to booth 1227 to see what SIDTech has to offer, learn about our capacity, which will be world-leading capacity with our subsequent phases of our 12-inch fab, which will be coming online. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think in terms of use cases, what everybody has been thinking in the last years were always like navigation, maybe showing you some text messages, all this kind of stuff. But what already came up in the last panel is that this really has been changed with the launch of ChatGPT. Right now, everybody is not talking about smart glasses, but the AI glasses and these kind of concepts. And you see like this moving very quickly because a few days ago, ChatGPT launched a new model 4.0. And then you see people with their smartphone going around and pointing at things and saying, what do I see? And it talks back. But this is, I think, is a very awkward way of interacting with AI, right? Because you just want to have that camera integrated in your device, in your smart glasses, and have this very smooth interaction with AI, with your environment. And I think this is really the big use case that's going to come up. Are there all these other ones, like first responders, engineers, all these other things? But I think the AI glasses, in my opinion, are the main thing that's going to drive this development further. And both professionally as well as in the consumer glasses. And yeah, as I said, I think the main one point, I can mostly comment on display technology because that's what we work on. But the main problem there is really that it's very hard to build smart glasses, AI glasses, that work in every scenario, that work also outside, that work in the sunshine, and make this possible. I mean, there are some AI smart glasses from Magic Leap, from Microsoft, the HoloLens. These are excellent devices, but they're still not there in terms of brightness, in terms of fidelity, that this is going to happen. And we want to be a contribution of making this possible in the next few years.
So as we know, everybody are hoping the smart glasses or AI glasses, and I believe all these kind of smart glasses integrated with AI will be the future, and it's coming in the near future. So the key issues for now is to make a brighter display with high efficiency to save the battery life. So that's what we need. Now, the key is to how to make a full color micro LED display used in this kind of AR glasses. So our company's core technology is to address this full color micro LED display with high brightness and high efficiency. So basically, we can save the battery and get a long-lasting time for the battery lifetime. Of course, for these kind of devices, such as the smart glasses or AI glasses, I think the price will be another very sensitive key factor for us to consider. So eventually, we still need to how to reduce the price, and then make this product to be used in the customer. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think for the second question, what are the barriers to really where this technology needs to be in the next few years of XR technology? What needs to be done? What do you see in the supply chain that's needed still? This is a chance to tell a lot of people here that are involved in various aspects of that what you think you need in order to make this really move forward. As I look out at the audience, I'm not sure. Anybody want to hold up their hand that they're wearing AR glasses right now, but we don't know it? Yeah, that's what I thought. So that will probably change in the very near future if you all are successful. So Tell me what you think.
Sure, absolutely. So, from SIDTech's perspective, we are a manufacturer of a product. It's a product that's in production today. Yes, it can be better. It can be cheaper, certainly. Cost is a big barrier to get this to a mass market. I don't think in my 3 days here I've noticed really many VR people walking around. I haven't seen one Apple Vision Pro, but I've seen a few other displays walking around the show. So what we really need from a SIDTech perspective is some of the things that my colleagues have talked about, is enhancements in core technologies such as brightness, ways to propagate the brightness of the display to the face, battery improvements so we're not hauling around a big heavy pack on our backs. We want to get this to a point where it's as simple as a cell phone, where I can just have it there and not even pay attention, where I could be looking through my glasses now and watching a movie as I speak to you all here today, or whatever I need to be doing. My daughter would be more important, of course, to speak with her. So we're looking to tell people here to just keep doing what you're doing. This is a great show for technology and advancing the technology. It's a great way for people to see how far things have come in the last period of time and to get new visions for what could be done. From our booth at SIDTech, we of course are heavily focused on AR, VR. But people will come by and say, what about a firefighter application where they have a helmet on and they can see through smoke and walls? There's all kinds of different things that will pop up. And we're like, absolutely, we can do that. We make the display, let's find the partners, let's get the infrastructure in place so that we can make a great new product for you. All that stuff would be great. It's going to help with our society, with the future. And of course, we still want to simplify our lives as much as possible by having a one-size-fits-all solution where it's not obtrusive and I can just go about my daily activity and not have to look at my phone up and down all the time. So that's what I see.
Yeah, I can add to that, and I think one of the big challenges in building the industry about AR is really that it's not really clear what's going to be the first product or the first products. Are there going to be a lot of enterprise products, which are like firefighter helmets? Are there going to be immediately the very sleek consumer goggles? There's such a huge variety of what you could make a product, and the supply chain is also so complex, right? I mean, we have 3 different companies doing 3 very different display architectures. It will probably end up in 3 different segments of the market. But this is, I think, a very complex supply chain that is now working slowly to define what are actually the interfaces between, for example, for us, the light engine, the combiner, how heavy should it be, how bright should it be, what are the trade-offs in energy, thermal, and so forth. So I think this is one of the main barriers, actually, that also we have to define what should be the first product and who has then also the scale to do that. Because if a fire department comes to me and says they want to have 10 light engines for a particular product, this is not enough for a venture-backed startup to say, okay, we're going to build something for you. So I think there's this whole industry slowly moving forward, and this conference is, of course, very important to everybody, talks to everybody, trying to figure out what's the latest stage and how we're going to move forward. And I think eventually, and very hopefully, in the next 2-3 years, we're going to see first glasses, and this will then allow, I think, to slowly standardize, slowly figure out what is really working, what is not. And this is also then very good, for example, for us to figure out, okay, this smart glasses out there, it has a certain performance, certain form factor, what's or not. We can do that better, for example, in that way. So this is from a startup's perspective, I think, the key barrier to move this as quickly as possible.
From the prospect view of micro LED, for now, the majority application of micro LED is for some information display, such as the translation or navigation, this kind of display. So for now, that's one reason is because the resolution of micro LED is much lower than the micro OLED display. So to really utilize the micro LED, I guess one is to enhance the resolution. Well, with enhanced resolution, it really requires a high quality of the yield. So how to do mass production for this kind of micro LED with high brightness, high resolution is one of the key barriers for now. So as we see most of the AR glasses here, we are or there are not too many products ready in the market with full color. So that's the one key barrier, I think. Besides that, I think from the view of micro LED, we are making this kind of big, small micro LED display. Besides the AR glasses, I think there will be some other applications in other fields, such as medical or some other kind of application. So we still need to find more application integrated with this kind of micro LED. But for now, I guess this kind of application is not very clear, so we need to search that. Thank you.
So we're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is really great, but let's move into the closing remarks. What do you really want to communicate to the audience here about what you're doing and where you think everything's going?
Absolutely. And no one ever said I talked too little, so this is great. So I have a little extra time. My colleagues here explained, I think, just did a really good job just now, just some of the different company aspects of how to launch this out there. You know, talking about from a startup perspective and the different pursuits from these companies. And again, from the SidTech side, we hope everyone's successful. We know there's some big companies working on stuff, mid-sized companies, small companies. A colleague from Saflux mentioned some other industries, you know, like medical, imaging, surgery equipment, lots of different flight simulation systems, lots of different applications for the technology, which is great. From SidTech's experience again, and from our expertise, we are going to be ready to make lots and lots of micro OLEDs. So you name the size, you know, we are gearing that up. We've been producing already for really the China domestic market. But with this 12-inch fab, it really opens up a new paradigm for the industry as a whole to start driving other companies, our competitors included, to say, okay, there's some competition out there. This competition is based in China. This competition has a 12-inch wafer fab that they do their processing on. So it's going to really start driving things, because I'd be willing to bet that a lot of people out there now would go buy a product like not just a Ray-Ban, but an Apple Vision Pro if it wasn't $3,500. So, you know, each company, a major OEM, has their own launch strategy. You know, they're different across the board on what their goals are, but that just gives a lot of validity to the market, again, about the technology and the future of AR, XR, we'll say XR. You know, non-AVP companies will launch in a different way. You know, they want to get products out there for the mass market. They have perhaps social media platforms that they want people to partake in and spend money on. So they need a low-cost headset. They don't want people to be paying thousands of dollars for that headset. So as time goes on and as the technologies evolve to drive the whole system, including infrastructure, mind you, it's a big part of the puzzle here. We think that the future definitely is very bright once it comes to XR. So again, I invite you all to the SidTech booth. Number is 1227, and we'll be happy to answer any further questions or talk about any technology questions that you would have. Thank you.
I think from VitraLab's perspective, as I said before, we really see this need to have very bright light engines, and it has to be high resolution, it has to be colorful, it has to do all the right things. It has to be high field of view. In particular, if you want to be in this kind of space between enterprise and also pro-consumer. And this is where we position. We have now early R&D samples, so you can find our booth 50 meters from here. It's 10:30. We're happy to show you what we're doing. And what I can say, we have excellent contacts so far. We're going to iterate very quickly in the next months after we now went through this long phase of building first good demos. And yeah, I hope we can be a key contribution to launching AR glasses that are compelling to the consumer market and really drive this market to slowly take off, right? And get the numbers up, not having like tens of thousands of units, but having hundreds of thousands and millions of units as soon as possible. And then figure out what really sticks, what do people want. Thank you.
Our company is focused on the micro LED. So from my view, The micro LED is a basis of gallium nitride materials. For this kind of material, regarding the process, it's much, I would say it's a low level than the IC process. So a lot of process to fabricate this micro LED is challenging for us. But I think in the IC field, especially those semiconductor for the silicon-based field, for those process will be one good way to facilitate and speed up the process for micro LED process. So in my opinion, maybe another quick way to speed up the process and for the micro LED is to collaborate with IC industry and utilize the technology and advantages in the IC process to fabricate this micro LED. So I think with this way may significantly speed up the process and manufacture of micro LEDs. That's all. Thank you.
I'm going to ask one additional, really short question I'd like to hear from each of the panelists on. You're looking out here, and I mentioned earlier, there's right, at least no show of hands, nobody's using AR, VR systems right now, right? So how many years in the future before we look out here and walk around this floor that over half of the people have AR, VR system as their primary information to tell them where the booths are and what technical shows to go to and to communicate with everybody else in the world like they do now with their phones? Over half. How far in the future do you think that is?
Well, we're 2024 today, so talking optimistic view from my perspective, since SIDTech is producing micro OLED now, and there are first generation products out in the field, I would be expecting later 2026 or really some of these products to be out there that it's a usable format. So by SID 2027, I'd be looking at half of the people to be wearing some type of XR device on their head.
So very fast scale up and adoption. All right. I would like to see that. Next.
Yeah, I think also the audience of SID is a little bit different than the audience of, let's say, the broad audience of, for example, the United States. So I hope also that it goes with the audience here much quicker than with everybody worldwide.
This is an international audience.
I mean, like the standard consumer and the SID audience, that's what I wanted to make as a difference. So yeah, I hope that when these glasses gonna be available, it might be late 2026, 2027. I think it's also gonna be in that timeline that the device is gonna come onto the market. Then it's essentially a question also, how quickly will the software be there, right? Will SID already have an app that integrates and shows all the booths? Will the usability be there? I hope so.
Well, the software's there now. It's just, it's an evolving process too. But
Exactly. So I think 2027 is probably optimistic, but it could work. But I think it's going to be before 2030.
Okay. Your projection?
See, it took several years to develop an iPhone from iPhone 1 to iPhone 4. So I think optimistic maybe 2027 is the year to really see a lot of XR glasses world by everyone. But it may take a long time. So I guess, more likely maybe 2030 is the year to see a lot of this kind of world or AR glasses. I think it still takes some time to get the interaction between all kinds of app with AR glasses. It will take some time.
So 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
All right.
So the average is still pretty good. It's optimistic. We like that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of growth that has to happen in between. So it's not like you're waiting for that as the final. But that's, I think that's a Those are probably reasonable expectations depending on which pieces of the market we're talking about. Magic Leap that was here in the earlier panel has a fairly big market already growing, but in the industrial side, so you don't see a lot of those here yet, but they're obviously targeting that too. And I think it will happen as fast as we're able to pull all the pieces together, make it practical, and get the cost in the right range. But people pay a lot for those smartphones right now, so it may not need to be really, really inexpensive. It just maybe shouldn't be excessively expensive. But there's a lot of technology work to be done. And I know that the technology program group at SID is working diligently to bring in papers and work with all the researchers around the world that are trying to develop the technology and make it happen faster. So thank you for your insight into the future. Appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.